Hello, good afternoon. This is David Callaghan, pastor of the Arlington Baptist Church, and it is not yet Mother's Day. We pre-recorded this session with my two siblings, Karen and Daniel, and then my mom, Joyce Callaghan, and we're glad to have all of us together. We spent a lot of times together when we were at Arlington Baptist Church, 27 years. My dad pastored the Arlington Baptist Church. And even afterwards, my brother worked on staff for, how many years did you work on staff, Dan? For
8 years. 8 years.
8 years. Karen, I was actually her school teacher for a while, and she graduated with me as her school teacher. And yeah, we've had a lot of fun as a family for a lot of years. Let me just kind of introduce each one. Of course, my mom, Joyce Callaghan, over there in the corner, currently living in Palm Desert, California, and it's like 50 degrees there right now. What's the temperature right now in Palm Desert?
45.
Yeah, I wish. I think it's like 111 outside right now.
50 squared.
Yeah, it's getting hotter.
She misses the air-conditioned Bay Area for sure.
For sure.
But she and my dad, they were a pastor and pastor's wife of the Arlington.
Is he just your dad, or is he our dad?
Yeah, he's our dad too. Yeah.
Okay.
But for 32 years, my mom was a pastor's wife, and 6 years in Cape Girardeau, Missouri at Liberty Baptist Church, and then 27 years at where am I at? Arlington Baptist Church. Been married for 46 blissful years to my dad, J. Michael Callaghan.
He's still just your dad.
Yes.
He's not our dad.
It's just how you say things, you know. So
yeah.
This is going to be a lot of fun today.
That oldest son mentality.
This is the way it's going to go.
Right.
So.
That's how it goes. It's my
Move
video.
along.
You make your own video. But anyways, it's 46 blissful years of marriage, and so excited that, you know, we can proudly say as you know, children, that our parents have been together for so long, and it's exciting to see, you know, all of us growing up in that home. Daniel, my brother over in the corner, pastor of First Baptist Church of Yuba City, California, now for a little over 1 year. He celebrated his 1-year anniversary on February 10th, and just about 2 hours north of us. So we're excited to have him back in California. For a while, he was in Indiana.
Absolutely.
And I know his wife enjoyed that, but we do love having him back here in California with us. Then my sister, she was living here close to us for a while, and she moved a whole 15 minutes away. She lives in Crockett, California right now, just north of Richmond. And she is finishing up cosmetology school. That's why her hair is so on point right now. And Daniel could use a haircut. I got a haircut from one of our barbers here, but Karen typically cuts my hair. My mom's wishing that she could get her hair done right now, for sure, like all of us. Good. And then Karen's going to be starting at a barbershop real soon. So we're excited about that new step in her life. And as I mentioned, already living in Crockett. Well, we're going to jump into some questions now. We're going to start with you first, Mom. And here's the first question. What was one of your most memorable Mother's Days, and why? And by the way, happy Mother's Day. It's coming up.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
In a couple more days, so we wish we were.
You are beautiful.
I honestly can't remember the last time we didn't get to spend a Mother's Day together. I know my brother was gone last year. My sister's usually over, but this might be the first time, I know for us, not spending it with you. So happy Mother's Day. But anyway, one of your most memorable Mother's Days, and why?
This one's the best because I get to spend it with all of you. Oh yeah, let's see. I thought about that. I think, you know, probably I'd have to say my first Mother's Day. I think.
Come on.
I think after
probably because of me.
Yeah, of course. You know,
how do I end the Zoom call? How do I end it?
What about the full year where all he did was cry, Mom? How was that your first? Tell us those stories.
We were married for 6 years before we had any children. And I don't know, it's always, I think, for mothers, that first year is extra special, that you get to call yourself a mother. And it is the world's greatest profession. It's the hardest profession. And it's the hardest profession. But I have to say that, that's probably the most memorable one. I've had many after that, but yeah, that's good.
I brought my box of tissue just in case.
Did you? Okay.
Hand it to her.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep
I'm
those-
not going to cry.
keep those near.
I'm not crying. Are you crying? I'm not crying.
So that first Mother's Day, and wow, many Mother's Days later.
Yes.
And
40, isn't that right?
yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Wow, don't remind me.
Yeah.
Dan's getting a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Karen's still got a ways to go.
38.
Yes.
Going into the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting old.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mom,
Not supposed to tell anyone
this
that,
one's for
that's
the
fine.
kids. This is for us kids. What was a funny moment you remember about Mom disciplining you? And that's always a fun part of being a mother, right? Karen, since you never got any discipline in
Yeah.
your entire life.
Not that I can remember, yeah.
'Cause you're the
The most fun part you said?
funniest
I
moment.
don't remember any of it being fun.
Yeah.
Her daddy never.
I
hit
can't
her.
remember her ever getting
I
disciplined.
remember once, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, probably, the afterwards, you're just in there sobbing, and then she comes in there, and she's just like, tell you why I had to discipline you.
Can we just get this over with?
The whole thing was just horrible. There was nothing about it.
Don't give me the how, when, and why. We just do this and get this over with.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I do this because I love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
That's right.
Let's switch.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Right, Daniel?
Oh yeah.
Dan, how about you, man?
You have many stories there.
Yeah, I think I got too many to count. I guess I would say when Mom had to chase me a couple times,
What? You were
and I learned that was not a good idea because mom didn't care where the belt landed if you were running away. So I learned to stay still really quick. I tried the multiple pair of underwears. That didn't work.
Hey, I tried that too.
Yeah, that didn't work. I remember one time in Missouri, she made me go get a switch from the bush out front.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I mean, to turn out the way I did, and just perfection is hard to
Right.
get. And so the switchings, I guess, worked.
Drove it from you, right?
Oh yeah.
I guess my favorite memory, probably the second time I ever got disciplined when I was 16 years old.
Oh yeah.
I had my share. 16 years old. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. 16 years old. At school, my mother was the
I
teacher.
remember that.
That's just no fun, having your mother as a teacher. You don't get away with anything. At least
Nope.
most kids that go to school, you mess up, maybe the teacher forgets about calling your parents. But when your parents are there, that's a whole nother thing. Well, my mom had stepped out of the office or stepped out of the classroom to take care of something. And I had another student that was bugging me. And I've always had this anger management problems. I have it much more under control than I did before. But of course, my brother always knew how to just tip that anger there. But
Oh yeah.
there was another kid in the
Who did you inherit that from?
my father. Yeah. So he just kept irritating me and bugging me. And eventually I just had enough. And so I took his chair, and our classroom was on the second floor. The window was open. It was a hot day. And I chucked his chair out the window. course, everyone went, ooh, and all. They went, got my mom. I was 16 years of age at the time. I was I as tall or taller than you, Mom?
Oh, I think you were probably taller than me.
Probably taller than my mom at the time.
boy.
Already a big boy. And anyway, she looked at me and she said, I'm going to give you a spanking. Now, granted, I hadn't had a spanking in a couple of years. I had been a really good kid, and so I didn't need those as much as my other two siblings.
Right.
And anyways, my mom brought me to the office, and she said, bend over and give me, you're going to get a spanking. I went, what? I'm 16 years old. She's like, you're getting a spanking. So anyways, nonetheless, I took the lickings, and she took care of business, right? But yeah, that was my funny moment, seeing your mother that's smaller than you.
Yeah.
Did it hurt? Nah, it didn't hurt, but just did it.
Cry like a little baby.
Your daddy left the room.
He couldn't handle it, huh?
No, he left the room.
Mom, what were some difficult times that you went through with each one of your kids? Those trying moments that moms go through raising kids.
She didn't have any with me.
Probably most of the mothers listening to this would say that when your child is sick, and maybe got hurt real bad or something, that's probably the hardest, because you just don't want to see them hurt like that. And
out of all of us kids, who got hurt the most?
I think you did, Dan. I was just about to say that.
I think you got a hard head.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest. And then you guys, always was roughhousing and wrestling, and it was always in fun at first, and then after that somebody would get mad and somebody would end up going through the sheetrock or something. And then when Karen came along, she wanted to be right in the middle of all of you with it, and you guys would pick her up and throw her in the air and on the sofa, and I was freaking out. Yeah, and
your head too many times.
I mean, there's other things, but that's the things that I remember the most. Probably when you guys were sick, and I didn't feel, you feel helpless as a mother, and so you just have to sit and wait and pray, and and God's been good. You're all still alive, so
we're hanging in there.
Hanging in by
thread
with our mask on. Hey kids, what are a few? I hate calling us kids. We're not kids.
Cheering.
What are a few things that mom taught you that you can say on the screen?
How to blow a bubble.
Yeah.
I can still remember outside our house in Missouri, I couldn't blow a bubble. Mom showed me how to blow a bubble.
Yeah. She taught me how to whistle. Yeah.
Whistle, yeah.
Yeah, whistle.
Now we're annoying with our whistles, and I'm sure our spouses wish we didn't know how to whistle.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it was the only thing I could, get you to answer.
Boy, mom always taught us like how to talk with people, probably, being able to have communication skills as a pastor. And my first job, dress up nicely for your job, make sure that you look at people in the eye, don't look down. How to walk. She's constantly like, stand up straight. Even like now, I feel like I'm slouching. I need to stand up straight, walk straight. I just, even to this day, I can hear my mom telling me, stand up straight, walk straight. I'm always thinking of those things. Just how to handle yourself around other people and so on and so forth. How about you, Kay?
Yeah, I was definitely going to say it's something along the same lines. And just like, I think kindness, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what other people are going through, and just to be nice to them.
Yeah.
At all times. But yeah, she can literally speak to anyone about anything. So
yeah,
definitely.
I was up at the store up the street from our office, and just yesterday, guy says, "How are your parents?" And I don't even know who this guy is. "How are your parents?" I said, "They're doing fine." "I love your mom. She's the greatest neighbor in the world. She's the friendliest person, and she's always been that way. And I wish I was half that friendly to people, but she's always been super friendly." So, yeah, learning to be friendly to people, befriending people, definitely something I think all of us have learned from mom for sure.
Yep.
I wrote down to love genuinely.
Yeah.
I think she loved each one of us for our best and our worst. Mostly best for me. But I got to throw it in there because there's so much worse. I can't.
We
Got to
should
cover
put
it
you,
up.
like, in the middle of the screen as the middle child, like the middle capture or something.
Yeah. But no, I can remember times where I felt like I needed more discipline, and it was just mom sitting down just talking to me. I mean, there were times where she disciplined, believe me. But just, kind of talking through those things. I think for Dave, when we moved to Richmond, he was older, so he was going through his, teenage change years. And so for me, it was just kind of like riding the wave, seeing where I, could not be stupid and get caught like Dave did.
Learning from your brother's mistakes.
Yeah. But then, not feeling like I was, this pedestal for Dave, but for mom to kind of treat me as, her son and not just, another child. I at least I felt like all of us kind of got treated like we were, genuine to mom. It wasn't, I never felt like, we were getting gypped. I know I always tease Karen that, because she's the youngest, she got everything that she wanted. But I felt like mom was genuine with her love. And one of the things I can always remember, and mom even instilling this into us, is fearing God.
Yeah.
Just having a genuine fear for God. And then loving people, who they are. I can remember homeless people and, people that were different than us. Mom always showed, genuine love. Yeah. That's why
We're not
we're all messed up. But she always showed genuine love for everybody. So
I don't know. I could probably maybe speak for all of us, but I always felt like we could always go to mom and talk to her about anything, and vice versa. She could always talk to us about anything. There was never like mom was like, "Hey, I'm too busy. We can't talk right now." She just always made time for us whenever we needed it.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, goodness.
Definitely.
Just don't tell any stories I've never heard of something you did, okay?
So we had a question and answer, Helen and I, a couple weeks ago, and one of the questions someone asked was, are there things that your mom are there things that your parents don't know about that you haven't told them? And I said, absolutely, and they will go with me to my grave.
There's probably some things I know about you all that you don't know that I know too. So they'll go to my grave. I'll take him to my grave.
Anyway, Mom. That trick doesn't work anymore, Mom.
Yeah.
In the past is in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to add anything to that, Karen?
No.
All right.
No.
Don't want to indulge any more than we have to, right? Hey, Mom, if you
Yes.
could redo some things about raising your children, what would they be?
You know, as a parent,
from a mom perspective, yeah.
As a parent, I think in your mind you have, a lot of things that you want to teach your children, and to be responsible adults, reliable, hardworking, and like Dan said, I wanted all of you to fear God and have strong faith in God. and believe that he could answer your prayers, and most of all, to remember that there's always a solution to every problem. I mean, sometimes, we feel like, there's no way that there's an answer to this, but there is. But I think if I had, to look back, I would probably, tell you guys I'd have you memorize more scripture. I was fortunate enough that all of you were able to attend a Christian school, but memorizing scripture and read. I always took you to the library and we always read, but
Got the picture books.
yeah, but I always wanted you to read.
Read
Yeah. And to keep reading even now, because, you learn so much from that, and maybe how to spell, that might help. And, and then I think probably I wish I had kept a journal about each child, more things that, funny things they said, things they did, so that you could look back and remember what year this happened or that happened,
Yeah.
So,
It's called Facebook.
yeah, now.
Yeah.
The 20th century.
Pen to paper.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, siblings here, what are some times that you thought that your mom was showing partiality to your siblings?
All the time.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, Karen was still pretty young when I finished high school and left the house, but she definitely got away with far more than we did.
Yes, she did. She was the child that came late in life, and and we were,
The greatest blessing.
Yeah, my greatest blessing. I got my beautiful daughter, and we were busy in the ministry and stuff, but she probably got away with a lot more than you guys ever did.
Better believe it.
But you guys were partners in crime. She didn't have anybody.
I did not believe that until I saw videos of us as kids.
Yeah.
Man,
There's
we were
pretty
horrible.
crazy times.
13 years difference between me and Karen, and 2 years, just under 2 years between me and my brother. So,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you ever feel that way, Karen, about us?
What?
That we were shown partiality over you? Probably not. Huh?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm obviously the favorite.
So you knew, huh?
No, I was really trying to think back about it, and if I could remember a time, but honestly, I don't feel like mom would ever do anything like that, ever make any of us feel less than.
That's the truth. She always, I mean, even at Christmas time, even today with the grandkids, it's all about being fair. Yeah. Like every kid gets the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's always about being fair. She never wants one other kid to feel like they are being shown partiality. That's definitely true.
That's important.
Do you remember the Christmases we only got 3 toys?
Yeah, there were some years. Yeah, it's not
Serious,
that way.
we got one toy that we wanted, and then one toy we had to share.
Yeah.
And I can remember I got the Commando Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando doll.
Oh my goodness.
Free governor.
Oh yeah, I still wish I had that.
That'll be worth money.
We had some rough years there when we were in college and when we first came in Missouri and California, but God's been good. I think we've made up for it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Living on the high hog right there.
Grandkids get spoiled, that's for sure. Let's see here. Mom, what are some unique things each one of your children did when they were babies or young children? Maybe some funny stories without embarrassing us, of course,
Embarrass.
But
we want the
there's some
embarrassment.
funny, unique things that we did as young kids. Maybe that we forgot that maybe you remember.
Like I said, I wish I'd written down some of the things. I guess, David was our firstborn. And, mostly I remember how that when we would be coming home from church, we didn't have car seats back then. They weren't required. And David would stand in the front seat between Dad and I, and you know, he'd be looking down the street, and he could, from a mile away, I kid you not, he could see
Knock, knock.
McDonald's arches, and he would he would start going, knock knock, knock knock. He
Yep.
wanted to go get a McDonald's hamburger.
Pasta biscuit.
Yeah, and
Well, it
that
looks like a
he liked
biscuit.
that. David was I think my most loving child of you three. And
What?
yes, he was the most,
Baby.
you know, he was always like, you know, wanting to kiss on me all over, and he
That's
gave
where
the
Liberty
wettest.
gets it from.
I would get my makeup all on, and he'd come
Yeah,
up and kiss
Liberty.
me on the cheek, and then all my makeup would come off
That's Andrew.
because he'd give wet kisses. Andrew's like that, yeah, too. Yeah, it was these wet kisses, and as you know, two things I thought of most about him, and then Daniel. Oh my goodness, let's see, Daniel's our family
Special one.
comedian. Yeah, he's our
Oh yeah.
family comedian. In kindergarten, he decided that he was going to stand out, so he made a face
Which we
in
have
the
the
group
picture right
in
now.
the group picture. Yeah, and show him what you did, Dan.
He just did. He just did.
Yes.
That's only kid in his class.
Only kid in the class.
Yep.
And then our assistant pastor had to come and say, guess what your son
Are
did?
you proud of your son?
Nothing ever
that was
surprised me.
pre-digital. That was
Yeah.
pre-digital camera days. So they
Yeah.
whatever picture went,
couldn't.
it
Yeah.
went.
And nothing ever surprised me if somebody said, do you know what your son did? You know?
I was
And
going
he
viral
loved,
before viral was popular.
he loved to dress up in goofy clothes. He still does. No, he really liked to dress up and play cowboys and Indians, anything that he could, you know, to dress up. And one time we thought that we had lost him, and it was when we first moved to California here in Richmond, and we, you know, went home and we thought he was, you know, somewhere else, and he was on the bus, but he had gone to the back of the bus and fell asleep. And so the bus driver got off, and we were like frantic. We didn't know where he was, but
I wasn't.
not unusual. Yeah, David used to run from us in the store and hide underneath the clothes, and we'd hide from him. And then Karen, oh my goodness, we moved to Richmond right when all the poly class stuff happened, and so we rarely let her out of our sight. But she,
Out of my cage.
yeah,
But she's so
we were
white.
watching her. But
See the
I
sun.
think two of the funniest things that Karen did is that she would always want to hold on to my ear, and she had to make a noise. It was like, you know, humming. That's how she went to sleep. And then
Sorry, that must
another
have been
thing, do what?
I said, I'm sorry, that must have been annoying.
Yeah, it was sometimes. And then we always she hated anybody to sing happy birthday to her.
Yeah, that was
She
funny.
would-
Don't do
She
it.
would scream. We have her on video where she would just
Don't do it.
scream. She could not stand for you to sing happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
The big 3-0's coming next year, so we'll have to sing happy birthday
I'll try.
for sure. That's it. And that.
I remember Karen used to, for a while, we had a small car, and Karen was in the car seat in the middle, and my brother and I were in the back seat, and she'd
Yeah.
grab Daniel's ear on this side and grab my ear on this side, going down the road going,
That's funny. Do you remember when you guys used to fight on who was going to sit in the
I
front
think that's
seat?
why I've got these
Yep.
big floppy ears here.
Probably all you guys. Sorry.
She pulled on our ears too much.
When you got older and you fought about who was going to sit in the front seat, and so finally we started
You
in January, and
Well, you
everybody
got a
got
little
a month.
coffee. You got a little coffee mug and put our names in there.
Yeah. Then that's how we went, month by month.
It's my month.
Yeah.
Sure.
My month.
Man, and we did not forget either.
No,
Like, it
you
was the
did
first
not.
day,
Nope.
my month.
Yep.
Let's see here. Siblings, what one thing did mom teach you that you still put into practice today? Put the toilet roll over the
Yeah.
top, not up below.
That's right.
Why so many people don't do that?
That's spiritual.
It's really annoying.
That was one of the 11th commandments, right?
Yeah.
Close the refrigerator door.
Yes.
Wash your hands. I prepared you for this time.
Yeah.
Pre-quarantine ready for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Make sure you brush your teeth.
You know what? I still say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mom was always big on that.
Yes,
Yep.
sir, yes, ma'am. Must be that Southern thing.
Yep.
Grew up in Alabama.
Yeah, that's important. Respect your elders.
Well,
We always
Mom?
try to, point you to great men of God to look up to and do the right thing, and it
like Willie
pays.
Nelson.
Huh?
Great men of God like Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Right.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis, the Beatles.
I can't wait for Ed's interview. That's going to be real fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Mom, I wish we were there with you for Mother's Day. And, man, just seems like the other day we were all in the house causing antics and problems, but it's good to be on here today.
Yes.
My sister Karen, my brother Daniel. We can get along as long as he's 2 hours away.
That's right.
Sometimes we even still find ways to fight.
Not far enough.
I'm not far. But Mom, you're too far. You're gonna have to move back a little bit
Gotta
closer.
get closer.
Once
Right.
it hits about 120 for a couple days, you'll start thinking about it a little bit more.
I'm thinking about it already.
Well, love you. I love all of you guys, and thanks for doing this interview with Mom for Mother's Day.
Love you, Mama.
Love you too.
Love you, Mom.
Thanks, guys.
Till we see each other again. Love you.
Here, let's
Bye.
all do a
Bye.
little
Love
heart.
you.